we want to change the world. Like we want to do really big shit. We are fighting on behalf of a greater mission of like helping a ton of people make money on the internet through Whop.
Not only is Whop a marketplace, you also are a full-blown Discord, app, courses, community.
We had someone reach out who is making a bunch of money in these forums selling sneaker bus. Cam started to sell software through that forum. And
if you had one of these pieces of software that could buy a PlayStation 5, if you could buy 10 in a day, you made $10,000. So you could rent that piece of software out for a day for $1,000.
We're making a lot of money. Like, let's just structure this really well and make an actual website that we can sell this software through.
Everybody sees like the shiny trophy and the lifestyle which they aspire to have, but they don't really know what it takes and the sacrifices you have to make.
I'll cry from time to time. Like, it's intense. Like, this shit's like hard and we care about it a lot.
We have a lot of problems and we get in a lot of fights, but they're all out of passion and they all bring us closer after the fight's done.
Do you have any like enemies or people coming after you? Now, before we jump into today's episode, I just want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by me and everything that I have built to help you guys level up. If you want to transform your physique, build muscle, lose body fat, build strength, then you have the Thirst app. This has everything inside that you could possibly need to get yourself in shape, to hold yourself accountable as well. I also have the Digital Playbook, which is a step-by-step guide to help you guys build a following, monetize the following, and also build a strong personal brand. This is everything which I have done over the past nearly 10 years to allow myself to live a life of financial freedom and also geographical freedom. I can basically do whatever I want. Life is good. And I also have my newsletter, which has been revamped, where I'll share exclusive podcast insights, my raw thoughts on business, fitness, and much, much more. So if you're interested about any of those, check out the description. You'll find the links to all of them. Now let's get cracking with the episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back to First Things First. We are in New York and we have the Whop boys in the building. How are we doing?
Great.
Good.
Very excited.
How did you guys meet each other?
We met each other on Facebook. We were like 12 or 13 years old and he made a post in a Facebook community about shoes and I responded to it. He was looking for an iOS developer and I was learning how to program iOS apps, like iPhone apps, and I messaged him. He was like a kingpin in this Facebook community about shoes. So he would sell like Yeezys and Jordans and all the crazy stuff that people wanted. And he was like the biggest personality in this 2,000 person Facebook group, but he was like 12 or 13 years old. So I didn't necessarily know that, but
he was
saw him everywhere.
The shoe plug.
Pablo Escobar.
How did you get into that?
I had a buddy named Charlie in middle school who was wearing these sneakers one day, and I wanted to buy them when I got home. So I went and looked them up, and they're LeBron 10 Platinums. They were like $300. I was like, holy shit! Like I don't have $300. I get $10 a week for allowance. So I was like, I got to start saving up. So saved up. I started by going to the mall. So my mom, dad, and sister would come with me 4 a.m. Saturday morning. We'd camp out outside of Finish Line. Wait 6 hours just to make like $50 profit on each pair of shoe. But and then I found out that you could buy shoes online. So I was like, this is so much easier. So then tried buying them online, sold out instantly. Found out that people build software to buy the sneakers before they sell out, kind of like high frequency trading, but for sneakers. So then I made a post one day and Steven responded and we started building together.
No way. How old were you both then at the time?
We were like 13 years old.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you knew how to code?
I was learning how to code and I think I learned a lot through working with Cam. And yeah, I did. I was building like a Mandarin study app for my phone and my parents maybe speak Chinese. And yeah, I think I was always into like jailbreaking my iPod Touch and iPhone. And I was just pretty infatuated with like the whole Apple ecosystem and read a bunch of books and my parents got me a laptop. After a while of begging, they didn't really let me have any like video games or anything like that, but they got me a laptop and just Googled my way to knowing how to code a little bit.
No way.
Yeah.
So would you say that coding is quite a useful skill to have?
I think so. I think if you know how to program and you know what people want, then I think it's a superpower.
Mm-hmm. So what happened after that?
After that, we started building together, and it started out, so we just had an iOS app. After we finished building, we started selling it. So it was an app that you could download on your phone, and when sneakers would come out, if a sneaker was $200 and it was going to resell for $400, you can make $200 profit. So we would sell the bot for, call it $100, where people could pay for the software. Sneakers come out, it automatically adds it to your cart, puts in your credit card information and purchases the sneakers for you. And then we started scaling that. So the evolution.
It would monitor Nike's Twitter. And when the second they tweeted a link, it would click it, and then it would buy the shoes before anybody else bought them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd package that iOS app up. We built maybe a shitty WordPress website, and we started sending that WordPress site into the Facebook group, and people bought it, and then we would send them an email with the file, and maybe they'd pay us on PayPal or something, and then that started to work out. We made a little bit of money, and we were like, "What the hell? This is kind of crazy," and kept building other things from there. We built a bunch more sneaker bot software. We built some games. We built some messaging apps. We built some other marketplaces. We built agencies. We built some SaaS companies. You kind of name it, and I think it was
Tried
pretty
everything.
fun. Yeah, learnings of internet money.
Going back to the first business, the sneaker bot thing, was that just primarily for sneakers, or could that be used for something else? Like, say for example, if somebody's throwing a show and like it's guaranteed to sell out really quickly, could that be used for something like that, or was it just for sneakers to begin with?
People did a lot of ticketing stuff, but I don't think we ever really got into that. I think that was like, we were mostly focusing on sneakers. I think it's like a little bit not as allowed to do tickets for whatever reason. I actually don't know why, but I think it's a little bit
No, it's probably
more
some
difficult.
red
It's
tape
like
around it.
Yeah.
weirdly red tapey. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People did it with like Supreme clothing
Yeah.
back in the old days. So it was like clothing and sneakers. A lot of
PlayStation
like
5 consoles, anything that's limited demand. I mean, certainly even reservations in New York, we actually have little software here and there that can make reservations in New York still. So things like that are pretty cool, but ticketing, we didn't really do so much. People do that, but we've never really been into that.
Yeah. Okay. So that was doing well, made you a bit of money. Was that a business that you could sell, or did you just have it running in the background?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily. We didn't sell it. Maybe looking back, we could have sold it, but it was a full-time focus, I'd say, for probably, we might have been 13, so probably until like 16, 17, 18, around that time. That's when we were working on it. We were really focused on selling the software, so we just continued scaling. If there was a big release, the goal would be to sell to 10,000 people, where 10,000 people give us their email, their address, their credit card, where we run the software automatically for them. So
it definitely wasn't a background thing either. we weren't really able to sell it, and I don't think it was a background. It was very intoxicating focus, and it was really a lot of work, because you had to wake up basically every night a release happened and set everything up, and then there's bugs flying everywhere, and you got to like fix them within the span of minutes, otherwise you miss the entire release. So I think it was a good exercise he dropped out of high school shortly after we started, because I think
It was a full-time thing.
he was making so much money from selling all the shoes. I definitely wasn't making as much, and my parents were a little bit more strict and made me go to school. But he dropped out of high school, and I think from there we just had so many mini encounters of what it looks like to build internet businesses, and all of our childhood we did that. And then I guess up until COVID basically, and we had an agency at the time, and we were like, this is not really that fun anymore. We're having to deal with all these clients, and we're basically building a bunch of apps and web apps for whatever, like random companies, and we were like, let's just build a website builder, because that's what we're doing already. It's automated, and we built that for Twitch streamers. And I think that was really fun. And we were like, wow, we have all these users randomly signing up, and then that became
because streamers didn't have a website. They were just streaming, but they had no like.
Yeah, exactly. And all they had to do, they would just put in their Twitch URL, and it would make a website for them automatically. So it was like Squarespace, but for streamers.
Yeah,
and we would just
same thing.
we would just go into people's Twitch chats and be like, "Hey, I love you so much. Like, I made this website for you yesterday," and they'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, you made this website for me?" And it was like all custom designed to them. And that was like the first inkling of like building a piece of software or someone. It's kind of like I think there's a lot of that's evolved into a lot of what Whop is today, but it was just someone signs up, they put in some information, and they have a website and a storefront kind of thing where they can send traffic to.
Who was the biggest streamer that I ended up getting that site?
I don't think it was that big of streamers. It was like a bunch of like random 20 viewer streams, and we'd be like, "Hey, what's up? Like, I'm a huge fan," and they'd be like, "What the hell? Nobody's ever done something this nice for me."
Well, so you gave it to them, and then would they actually pay?
I don't think
We worked on it for like a couple months, and then we had a better idea.
Yeah.
It literally sounds like you tried doing everything.
I think we tried a lot of
What were the things that in the early days didn't work?
Didn't work at all. I think that we
did
tried to build a messaging app.
yeah.
I think it was a good
Secret
example.
text.
But I think even then there's still so many learnings, So I wouldn't look back and say I regret any different experiment that we tried, because they we learned something really valuable for each of them. But there's one app we made. It's called Secret Text, and it was a way you could, like before Snapchat had disappearing messages. They only had photos. We built like you could send a text message, and it would self-destruct, and it would be encrypted, and you could send messages to your friends. And I think like Mark Cuban released an app called Cyberdust at the same exact time, and we were like, all right, this kind of sucks. This is tough, but
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good example. Although in that moment, I think we learned how to like build a messaging app. Like that's a pretty cool learning, and maybe how hard it is to scale. Like
That's
build
an ambitious task to take on, a messaging app, competing with all the other big timers.
Yeah, totally. We getting another look at that now in Whopland. So
Okay.
Yeah. I think growing up, it was really like we were delusional in like the best way possible. It was just like we were going to try everything. And I think a lot of those learnings have just tied into what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. And with all these ideas and projects, was the startup cost ever an issue? Or when it comes to coding and building apps, like it's actually not that expensive? Because in my experience, I mean, I have a fitness app, and to get the basics put together does come at some initial cost. And a lot of people, they want to have their own app, but it's not free. Obviously, it depends on how many coders you're going to need to actually build the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did it cost much for you guys? Or were you just doing it all yourself?
I think it was helpful. I mean, Steven was I think I would usually market it and sell it, and Steven would program it. So like there's like we used Heroku in the early days. Yeah.
And even if it seems like you have to pay for something, I think there's a lot of ways to be really scrappy and to figure out how to be extremely resourceful to get things accomplish the same outcome without building your own app or without outlaying a lot of cash. And if you have the ability to do that, fantastic. But I think it's like people are like, maybe I want my own app, but it's like, why do you want your own app? And it's like, maybe because you want to host your community. It's like, okay, well then use Discord. And like people don't actually really care. It's like, oh wow, I'm in this one specific app versus another app. They don't really give a shit at all. It's more of like it's the perception from the creator, I think, a lot of times. And I think that's like a random example, but I guess my point is that we'd sold shoes to make a couple extra $1,000 and just make it work, I guess. So I don't think that I don't think the cost of getting started is ever that real. I think it's always there's always a way to not pay a high cost.
Mm-hmm. So when did the origins of Whop come about?
During COVID, we were doing this website builder for Twitch streamers, and then that started to become a drop shipping SaaS, which I don't know how it actually went from Twitch streamers website builder to SaaS, but it did. And then we were building this thing called Frosted. It was like it would arbitrage Amazon to eBay products. So you could go and link your eBay account, and then you could sell Amazon products for a couple dollars extra. So people would be buying on eBay, and you'd be ordering it on Amazon and delivering it to their house. Mm-hmm. People would pay for that software, and we were doing that for a little bit, and then we had someone reach out who was making a bunch of money in these forums selling sneaker bots. So they would go on and same kind of shit we did when we were younger. They'd be like, hey, I have this software available for $10 a day. Anybody want to rent it?
Yeah.
And we're like,
so during
is the
that the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing that we did when we were younger. And Cam started to sell software through that forum. And we were like, okay, we're making a lot of money. Like, let's just structure this really well and make an actual website that we can sell this software through. Mm-hmm. And we did that, and then it was way easier, and people liked it.
Yeah. So during COVID, everyone was reselling sneakers and Supreme growing up, and then during COVID, things like PlayStation 5s retail at $500. Everyone's sitting at home all day. They want outdoor pools. They want PlayStation 5. So $500 PlayStation was reselling for $1,500. So the software was in such high demand for people buying from like Best Buy and Walmart, all these companies. So the market just spiked again. And if you had one of these pieces of software that could buy a PlayStation 5, if you could buy 10 in a day, you made $10,000. So you could rent that piece of software out for a day for $1,000. Very niche, cool market. But
super niche.
In COVID, when people were spending online, what were the dominant platforms back then? I guess
online,
Amazon.
Amazon was huge. Best Buy, Walmart. I think it's highly concentrated at that. I mean, maybe like a long tail of Shopify stores, but I think definitely Amazon won COVID.
Mm-hmm. So, summarize for me again. First of all, how do you come up with the name?
We just had a bunch of domains that we bought when we were younger for any project, and this was next on the list, and we just went in. It was Whop.io at first, and sounded cool. 4 letters. We had a cool W logo. And then
random nights, Steven would just buy expiring domains. So on GoDaddy back in the old days, you could see all the domains that just expired. So
and now it's We Help Offers Pop.
You help what? Sorry,
Offers Pop is
okay.
Whop stands for.
Yeah. Okay, so when did it start to build some traction?
So I think the biggest thing with Whop is that we were trying to solve our own problem. So we were just building software that we needed to sell our software, and we experienced traction like pretty much immediately because we were actually selling things, and we had the sell side covered. So it was immediate traction, and I mean a couple $1,000s a day at first, and I think that became a couple $10,000 a day in the next couple of months, and then all of a sudden it was $100,000 a day, and 6 months later, and people were basically coming on.
How
and
are you getting people to where were they coming from?
Yeah,
like were you advertising?
Yeah. Well, the first thing we did, back to your question on like startup costs, we had a product, the dropshipping tool that had about 1,000 users. That was the same users that were using that product would be people who would buy and sell sneaker bots. So we added a wheel to that product. We, like Steven mentioned, we had the initial software. So with the marketplace, you have supply and demand. So we were the sellers initially. We added free to this product that had 1,000 people a day. You could go on and spin a wheel, and 30 people a day would win a free bot from our website. So that's how we jumpstarted. We didn't run any paid ads. We didn't pay anyone for posts. We just had these users, and we gave away the product for free out the gate, where we covered it. And then every day you'd get 30 new signups. And then it started to compound from there. So we found all of the sneaker reselling communities where people were actively buying and selling sneakers. And you would focus, like one day you'd be like, okay, we have 100 customers, we have 30 sellers, we need more sellers. So we'd go partner with a community that had 2,000 sellers and give them a promo, like some sort of incentive to go sign up. And now we have more sellers and buyers. So we'd go find another community that had 5,000 buyers and say, the first 100 people to use this code get $5 off their, and you just kind of like balance out.
But who's doing that?
I was just messaging every single Discord owner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was it just you two, or who was the first few employees that you got?
No, we have another co-founder named Jack, and Jack and I would program, and Cam would go and go to town on connecting the dots with customers and trying to figure out who could use it, and then we had we work with someone named Jackson who is another programmer as well, and I think
he was like 17 at the time.
He was doing customer support, and pretty tiny, lethal group of people.
I feel like I need to make more friends with programmers.
It's hard.
So, to begin with, what was the first few things that were selling on there? Was it the sneaker community that came on, or was it?
Yeah, it was only sneaker community. It was maybe like adjacent, like tangential. It's like resellers generally. So people that were selling on Amazon, people that were selling heaters during COVID and PS5s, pools for people's backyard, all that crew. So a lot of software developers actually would come on because they were the ones who built the software. And that was the first product line that we really supported. Because if you look at Whop, it's like we're a discovery layer, so people can find what they want to buy. And then we're a payments layer, so people can pay for what they want to buy. And then the last part is that people can actually consume what they want to buy. So if it's software, then they would get that software delivered to them automatically. They wouldn't have to worry about authenticating with the software. And that was the first type of product that we supported. So a lot of developers would come on the sell side, and quickly that became the sellers were like, hey, can we also add Discord access and let people join the Discord automatically when they buy the software? And we're like, sure, it makes sense. Like maybe you want to have a community with your software on top, and that's what people did. And then I think people saw that and they're like, wait, we don't actually even need to have software. We can why not just sell a Discord community and put a lot of content in there and make it worth paying for? And that's what happened. And I think that if you look at the barrier of starting a software versus a Discord server is quite different, right? Anybody can go on discord.com and start a Discord server, but not everybody can go and program a software, especially not in 2021, which maybe now is a little different. And I think that started to become even more lower barrier. It's like, okay, then you can also go and add your courses. And then now you can go and create your own chat on the platform. You don't even need to go to Discord. And I think that's kind of the mindset that we have, is just trying to eliminate the barrier to entry. So going back to your question, I mean, first people that used it were software developers, and that became entrepreneurs generally. And I think that as we continue to grow and build out more functionality or less functionality in some cases to our platform, we can attract a broader base of entrepreneurs.
How did you go about the payment processing?
So I think actually a lot of our prior projects throughout our high school days were around payments. I think we're pretty deep in payments, and I think we've been deep in crypto for quite a long time. And I think it's somewhat of a passion project, markets and how people pay. So I think we've just had a lot of expertise in payments already. And how do we go about it? We programmed a lot of payments infrastructure and used the tools that we knew existed from when we were younger, when we first started.
So most people are paying through which means?
Credit card, credit card and debit card, and crypto, PayPal. We try to have it all. And payments is a real problem for people, right? Like you have a lot of people that can't accept payments for whatever reason. I think there's a lot of monopolistic behavior that big banks have, and I think that's like perhaps even more real in other countries, right? Like you have, if you're a government in a smaller country, like and you're going to prevent people from accepting payments, that's like a very real problem. And that's not even talking about people that can spend money. So you have a problem on both sides. And to that point, like we want to be a very accessible payments platform and support a whole lot of different options. So from day one, I mean, we built payments infrastructure that is pretty adaptable, and it's not like overly built into one service or anything like that. So people can pay with crypto, PayPal, credit card, debit card, Cash App, and Venmo and Apple Pay.
So literally everything.
Literally everything.
Have you ever thought about
ACH?
Have you thought about getting into that world?
A payments world?
Payment processing platforms.
Yeah, I think, I mean, some people probably consider us a payment platform very much. I think we look at it as a very critical part of the business stack. So it's not that we want to be a payments platform, but we want to be a platform for people to earn money and to start businesses and have success as an internet entrepreneur. And payments is like a very critical part of that. But I don't think that we wake up and say like, we're really excited to be a payments platform. And I don't think that's I think it's only one part of the bigger stack.
Yeah. I think on that note, like when we first started Whop, you could only rent out sneaker bots. So it was like we only had the billing support to pay for like a 5-day rental. And then there was a company called Gaydon Jens, random sneaker bot company, that said, hey, I want to actually use this to sell monthly subscriptions. So it was never like, we're going to build a massive payment processor. It was just like solving real customer problems. Like this customer doesn't want to sell a license key for 5 days. They want to sell it for 30 days renewing. We didn't have that functionality. So I think looking back, we built a lot of payment infrastructure, but it was really, like Steven said, if you want to run an online business, payments is one of the key pieces that people struggle with. So through solving customer problems, we've built like just a pretty robust payments network.
Yeah. Okay. And talk to me about courses, because I can't remember what year it was, whether it was last year or the year before, but like online courses became very popular, and there was the emergence of School. I think Sam Ovensey created that, and then at one point I remember everybody was on School, but they had the issue. I don't think they had their own payment processing built within it. I think that was one thing that was an issue with them. So you guys on Whop, you also sell courses. Could it be a platform for putting your course on there?
Yeah, people can host courses on Whop.
Yeah.
You can go and you can film and you can upload and you can create quizzes and you can have a chat underneath the course and
Okay. Tell me about, there must have been some headaches or things which have gone wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think so much. I think a lot of it is just trying to convince yourself that you can figure out what to do. And there's literally tens or hundreds of problems every single day, and there always have been. And I think it's whenever we have problems, I mean, we have to just like, they get harder and harder, but we have to kind of just run through the wall and fight the problem head on. So I think, I mean, there's been like tactical examples. Our site goes down still. You know, like we've been the biggest streamer that's ever used the platform stream today, and the chat messages are flying everywhere. People are going crazy in the messages, and that kind of took down that one area of the site. So that happens all the time.
Too many people
sending chat messages.
Okay,
it's like, and it's not everybody on the platform would experience an outage. It's just for that screen, but because there's so much happening in the UI, it actually is difficult to people's computer to handle that. So there's like little things like that are very detailed. And then there's like higher level problems where it's like, okay, how are we going to enter this new market, and how are we going to make sure that we're building the right product? And I think when we first started, the problems were like, how are we going to make sure that everybody gets a customer support ticket answered? If there's 1,000 people on the site and we have 3 people and 2 of them are coding, one of them is getting all the customers, like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I think that's still the problem now. We have like 25,000, 30,000 tickets a month, people that are opening customer support queries. And I mean, someone has to answer those. And
this is for either the site not functioning the way they want it to, or people who've had issues with buying a product.
Yeah, both. It could be either. It could be people that are just wanting to talk. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with internet and like public, people can do a lot of different things, and they it's really fascinating to learn about all that stuff and things you never really expected to come up with more usage. And I think that those are really the source of our problems. But of course, we want more usage. So that's also a problem. So it's kind of like,
I think there's also, I think back to the early days, like about a year in, when we were building this, NFTs started blowing up. And to your question of like problems that have happened, I think in the early days, we would see these kind of like shiny objects and lose focus and jump on them. So we built like a ton of NFT infrastructure, and NFTs were very popular for a year. And then it was like our core product was you could verify ownership of an NFT to get access to a Discord server. Yeah. And we also let people mint NFTs on Whop. And it's like, it's amazing. You see a ton of growth, but then 3 months later, it's like all that growth is gone. Like it was practically, we did a bunch of work for nothing, and you learn a lot throughout the process. And I don't think we look at it like a negative experience, but I think it's fun because there's always a million things you can focus on. Like there's always a million things you can do, but what is like the number one priority that's going to drive 80% of the growth? And I think this time around, like I feel like there's more distractions in the world now than ever, but going through those experiences of like, we tried to do everything, we realized, okay, let's just do a couple things and be the best in the world at it. And those things are the things that will drive the most growth. So there's also, it's just like fun shit like that happens where you spend 6 months building something that is just, okay, this actually did nothing for the business at all. Like
This episode is brought to you by Whoop. The all-new Whoop is here, the only wearable that turns your health and fitness data into personalized guidance. Now, 7% smaller with 14 days of battery life. I've been wearing Whoop since 2021, and I've been wearing it every single day. It's a device which I have used to improve my training, improve my sleep, and stay away from the things which are definitely not good for me. It has been a game changer. Now, Whoop includes a heart screener with on-demand ECG readings, so you can check in on your heart anytime and share results with your healthcare provider. It also includes a health span, a new feature that demystifies the aging process and shows how your daily habits impact your pace of aging, as well as hormonal insights for personalized guidance throughout your cycle or pregnancy. It's the only wearable that gives you a truly comprehensive view of your body, designed to help you improve your performance, longevity, and overall health. So you can join now at joinwhoop.com/first-things-first to get your first month for free. Let's get back to the episode.
Did you guys think that like NFTs were going to be around for a while? Because I was always very, very skeptical about it.
I mean, I think at least one moment we're like, wow, like in 5 years, people aren't even going to be using their house keys anymore. They're going to be using an NFT. But I mean, I think to Cam's point, I think we kind of just got lost in the sauce for a couple months. But I also think that we met a really like an amazing group of people through that, and we learned a lot of interesting technical things. And I think that I wouldn't have gone back and not done that. I think it's like it's easy to, everything's obvious in hindsight, but the problems that you go through are very valuable to learn and go through a little bit of
did you guys buy a load of NFTs?
We bought a fair share.
What was the most expensive one?
Yeah, we have maybe Bored Ape. I don't know. Yeah, probably Bored Ape.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I luckily didn't get too caught up in it, but
yeah, nice.
it's hard.
You made it.
It's really hard to know because a lot of these trends come and go, and with the way the world is at the moment, it's like, who knows, like what direction things.
Every day is a completely different day.
Like, who would have thought AI would be coming along as fast as it is right now?
And who knows if that's not another NFT thing, and all of a sudden people are like, wait, I don't know if that's as likely with AI, but you never know, right? It's always like, wait till quantum computing comes out, and then there's everything's kind of rendered useless, and who knows? I think technology is surprising.
Have you been using it to help with the coding process?
Definitely. Yeah. A lot of,
I think for someone who is mentally challenged like me, try and explain like how you would do that.
I think you can, I mean, you literally can go onto any AI, ChatGPT, and just say, how do I program? I think you have to know what you want to build. And I think that's actually the harder part. And that's kind of what AI is showing, is like, even though you can program anything with AI, like you still need to program something. And like, what are you actually programming? So what do you want to build is the first question I would ask you. And that needs to be extremely clear. And then you can simply say, hey, AI, I want to build, what do I start? And then it can kind of tell you what to do.
But what about, for example, you, who is already a wizard of coding? How would you use AI to take it to the next level?
I could say things like, hey, make this page have a bigger headline. I don't know. Make this button look cooler. Make a sound when you click a button. Or maybe give me a bunch of test data so that I can simulate what this page would look like. Okay. Or hey, make this button work. Like make this button actually pop a pop-up view. Things like that.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to give that a try. With the customer support problem, have you dealt with that? Like, is it a matter of just hiring people to deal with the customer support, or can you actually train a chatbot to handle people's questions?
I think
I was going to say, like, I've experienced it a little bit from time to time on websites and even with Instagram pages where they have this built-in kind of chatbot, but it's really kind of hit and miss because you might ask them a question and then this chatbot gives you an automatic reply and it's like, this is not answering my question. And then you just not having that human experience, and half the time you just end up being more pissed off because you just wasted your time talking to a robot.
Totally. And I think that part of, we want to make sure that we have the best customer support ever. And that's been very hard over the past few months as we've grown. I think that the best type of customer support is one that you don't even have people opening tickets because everything makes sense and there's no problems on the website. So I think that that's like the first layer of defense. And as we've built things so fast, there's certainly a lot of areas that are old information or outdated instructions on how to use certain parts of the product. And I think when people run into that, they open tickets. So the first order of business is like, let's try to clean up as much of that as we can, make everything very simple, make sure there's no dead ends, make sure that everything is completely consistent on the site. And that's what we try to do most importantly. And then after that, we have a few AI tools I think we use for chats, but I think we also have a team of 20 people that are 24 hours a day online that are fielding customer queries. We have something called the Genius Bar that someone's in a Whop live stream all day that people can come to and ask questions and get help, perhaps like more high touch help. So we try to be pretty creative, and I think we look at we're very inspired by Amazon with their amazing customer support and whatnot. And I think that that's certainly what we want to give to people over time. It's tough.
Mm-hmm. So as it stands, or as it kind of began, it was with three of you, three co-founders.
Yes.
Yeah. How have you all been able to get along with each other and work in harmony? Because I guess you're kind of friends at the same time. You're spending a lot of time with each other. So how do you get along? Is there ever any issues, or is it quite smooth?
I mean, so when we started the business, Jack and I were in Austin. Steven was in New York. We'd sit on Zoom all day long. We had like a recurring Zoom for like 12 hours a day. We were just in that Zoom. We moved to New York in November of 21. So that was about like 7 months after starting. And we had this like hacker house in Brooklyn. So it was a 3-bedroom apartment. We got that up to 10 people. So there were 10 of us living in there, and that was our office. And I think,
nice.
We want to, Steven and I met when we were 13. Like from a young age, we've been like, we want to change the world. Like we want to do really big shit. And I think with that, everyone understands it's not going to be all like smiles and rainbows. Like it gets intense. We all are fighting on behalf of like a greater mission of like changing the world, like helping a ton of people make money on the internet through Whop. So we fight all the time. In the Uber over, Steven was roasting me, but it's kind of like, it's like great. Kind of like we're all in it for the same thing. And we all like, it's not about our feelings. It's about like, how do we create like a revolutionary movement. So I think it's easy to take things personal, but it's also like how many people in your life will like shoot it to you straight and like look you in the eyes and say, you're fucking this up. Like, here's what you could do better. So I think it's kind of like a drug you get addicted to. Like how many people really give it to you straight in life and tell you the ways you can improve. So I cry, like I'll cry from time to time. Like it's intense. Like this shit's like hard and we care about it a lot, but it's also like the people who give it to you straight are the ones who like really love you. That's how I feel about it.
But when you say you're getting to the point of tears, like what is it that's getting you to that point?
I think it's when you zoom out, there's like about 25,000 creators active on Whop right now. We're processing just under $100 million. Like there's a lot of people that depend on Whop. And I think you put a lot of pressure on your. It's like you want to succeed, you want to do something really cool. So usually when I cry, I will probably just be like overwhelmed, like it's just like a lot at once, and then you just like a release, and then it's like, okay, cool, like this isn't. I'm like. I think back to the prioritization thing, like when you get overwhelmed, when I get overwhelmed, it's because I feel like I have a lot of things I have to do. But in reality, there's always going to be one thing that will like drive the most impact. So it's usually like, how do you ground yourself and reset and just focus on what's most impactful and really just get back to it, knowing that some days are going to be the most fun days of all time. And some days it's just like you'll get curveballs thrown your way that you didn't see coming and you just have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. But is it like when you suffer, the team suffers, or do you just kind of take yourself aside and have a little cry and then come back?
I mean, so I've
Like,
cried in front of Steven before.
Do you know when he's having a bad day?
Definitely. I think it's I mean, yeah, I don't think I've seen Cam like come into the office is bawling with everybody right there. And I think
I want attention.
I mean, I've definitely had moments. I think I'm sure everybody's had down moments. But and even as a group we have down moments, but I think it's about like Cam said, just trying to push forward and knowing that there's going to be people that come after you because they don't like you, they're jealous, whatever, they feel wronged, they were wronged. Like there's so many different stakeholders in the thick of it, and it does get hard that type of pressure. But I think it's also like, I mean, that's double-edged sword of what we signed up for, and I think that we want to service a lot of people, and that's just a difficult thing to do. So yeah, it's very. We have a lot of problems to your question, and we get in a lot of fights, but they're all out of passion, and I think that they all bring us closer after the fight's done, which are usually very quick. We don't have a lot of ego in our group, and that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty mad when it comes to entrepreneurship and starting your own business. Like nobody really prepares you for what is going to come. Like it's not, everybody sees like the shiny trophy and the lifestyle which they aspire to have, but they don't really know like what it takes, the sacrifices you have to make, and even mentally, like there is no preparation for that. Like what are you supposed to do when you're stressed and you're overwhelmed? Like there's many people who just won't understand because they're not in your situation.
Right. Like
the only people you could really speak to and relate to would be other entrepreneurs who are on your level. And there's not as many of them.
Right. No, it's true. And what you look at actually prepares you less. It unprepares you. It makes you less aware of what it actually is like. And if you're going to go online and look at all the people that are posting, oh my God, look how much money I just made. Like they probably didn't clear that much money, first off. And if they did, they probably have most of it in expenses. And they probably there's so many other things that they're not going to show in that story. That are very true, and I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's difficult, and I think it's part of it what makes it fun at the same time. So I think it's just a big blessing and a curse at the same time that we both love, and I think it's. I don't think I could imagine a world different for day to day. But
do you have any like enemies or people coming after you
all the time? Like you wouldn't believe it. It's
what
insane.
Type of people?
I think. When you have any amount of success, you're always going to have people that are that for whatever reason that they don't like that, and it's unfortunate. And I mean, we had when we first started, like 6 months in, we had a company try to buy us, and we said no, and then they sued us. It's like, what? And then I mean, there's plenty of examples like that have happened, and I think if we feel wronged, our immediate reaction isn't to like, let's go get back at this person, let's go try to like take them down with us. I think it's so lame. Like there's a lot of other positive impact that you can have on the world, and if that's what you're going to devote your time to do, then unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So I think that we try to look at these people as like we're doing something right to some extent, and they wouldn't be coming after us if we weren't having a little bit of success, and I think that's the best we can do. I don't know why people come. It's actually a fantastic question.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a sign that you're doing something right. Like people, or the companies, competitors are feeling threatened by the success and the growing dominance that you guys are having. Have you experienced any, like anyone try to hack the system?
Yeah, I mean, we get like, that's another thing. It's just like so many messages every day that are like, hey, I noticed a problem with this one random part of the website that the text is off, and it's like, oh my god, like we have like thousands of pages on our website at this point. If you're counting user generated content, like hundreds of thousands of pages on the website, and it's a lot of noise. I mean, we have people that try to hack the website every single day. I mean, we have like, where we're doing I think a pretty good job on the security side, and like we have pretty awesome engineers, and I think that's an awesome benefit of our team. But yeah, all the time. I mean, Twitter went down 3 hours because someone hacked Twitter the other day.
Your account?
No, like just the whole platform in general.
Yeah.
So I think it's like we're not any different than any of the other platforms. We're just smaller, and as we get bigger, it's just more people hate us, more people want to take us down, more people want to literally take us down, hack, and more people want to extract value from what they think they can get. And I think that's just like a part of the process, unfortunately, and it's a cost of doing business.
At what point would you say that you guys start to get attention from the success of Whop?
I feel like we don't have attention still. And I think we like it. We don't want that much attention, to be completely honest.
Because I get the impression that you guys are pretty low key. Like, you're not out there flexing in your Lamborghini being like,
yeah.
I mean, Steven has 2 Lambo. No.
Yeah, I mean, we have some cool investors that have definitely had stories online about, and but generally, like, yeah, we don't like that. We like to, if it were up to me, I'd just be programming in the back room, like nobody can find me, and nobody can see me at all. Like that's be awesome. But I think, I mean, as we grow, it kind of is important to get the message out, and I think that we're starting to do that more. I mean, I don't know. A year ago, we had a bunch of press come out, and people are interested, I think, in
like these,
the mission.
Some of the articles which are online,
Yeah,
pretty big headlines.
Yeah,
like is that something which you have anything to do with that, or people just found out about you and want to write an article?
I think it's much more the latter. I don't think that we don't really have a coordinated effort to try to get articles written. In fact, we have people that message us frequently to report on different things. And I mean, I think we have a very unique platform, right? We have thousands, tens of thousands of young people earning sustainable income. Like that's like very weird, because 10 years ago, you'd have that group of people maybe have to go and do investment banking or consulting or some random
I
job.
remember, like, even on the rise of social media, like it was almost non-existent. Money online.
It's crazy. And I mean, I think it's just changing so fast, and everybody's trying to get a grip on what is actually happening, and definitely wants to report on it, because we have people making millions of dollars, and they're doing something that's very, very not the same as what people were doing 10 years ago. So I think there's a lot of inherent interest in what people want to learn about it, as it relates to our platform. So yeah, we definitely have.
Yeah. I also think like the PR and like these headlines, it's like you have you're the main story for 4 hours and the website recycles it. It's kind of like you'll experience like a massive influx, and it comes back to baseline. So I think it's kind of like, it can help with a couple things, but it's really like we try to focus on things that have strong foundations that will compound over time. And PR and flexing, all that stuff. Like, how does it actually help our creators make more money? How does it actually push the product forward?
At what point did you decide to take on some investment?
When we had the acquisition offer, it was
what did they offer? Did you say?
I don't know if I should. I can tell you. Okay, I can tell you afterwards, but actually, maybe don't.
Okay.
Can't tell you. But I think during that period, we're like, we met the founder of Tinder and Peter Thiel, and we wanted their support. And I think that at that moment, it was like, okay, this is going from a sneaker bot marketplace to maybe Amazon for digital services and products. Was, I think, the pitch at the time. And
first of all, how do you even go about approaching these big dogs?
I think it all happens so randomly, you know. Yeah,
they will no doubt have so many people trying to get in touch with them, be like, hey, I have this opportunity for you.
Right.
Was there anything specifically that you guys did, or was it?
I think we had
we
had a real product, and we had a real usage on the product, and I think that we were very authentic about what we were building, and it was a product for us. So we knew exactly what people wanted, and we knew that it was going to have traction because we were selling on it. So I think that they really appreciated that. And when you have a couple people speaking very positively on your behalf, it becomes exciting for those people to get to meet you. And I think it's exactly what what happened. We had some people that were advocating on our behalf to some of these big people, and had amazing conversations with them, and then they told their friends about us as well. And before we knew it, we were talking to a lot of really great people that we learned quite a bit from. So I would say just like having something that is really authentic and valuable for people.
So was it a case where you were looking for more cash flow, or you just wanted somebody involved who had the experience to kind of advise you and take it to the next level?
I think both. I think definitely both. I think that purely getting cash and not having that group of people around us would not have gotten us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And purely having that group of people without any cash would not have gotten us to where we are right now. So I think it's a mix of both. And I think it can kind of change at any given time. And we have if we have a really great idea that we can invest $10 million to, then maybe that matters less who it is. And if we are really getting stuck on product right now, and maybe we have to figure out some really niche detail in our chat, maybe we don't need any money, we just need someone to talk to. So I think it's a spectrum.
Yeah. I think that people often ask, like, how do you raise money? Like, how do you get investment from people like X, Y, and Z? And it's like, that's the wrong question. It's like, if you're building the dopest products of all time, people will want to give you money because they see it. So I think that, and I think like to tie back to the point of like the NFTs, I think one cool, like we just try so much shit, and sometimes you don't know where it's going to take you. And like the NFT project, like the time we worked on that, some of the most impactful people at Whop today we met during that time. And with the investment side, someone I went to high school with had a friend who got dinner with someone randomly one night who had like a cool incubator called Z Fellows, and we joined it. And then randomly, like he introduced, it's like these random, you never know where something will lead you. So it's just like we try so much shit. So I think it's really like if you build really cool shit, people will want to give you money, and then that's really it.
How often do you speak with the investors on
frequently.
a weekly basis?
A lot of them frequently, and some of them not at all. Probably since we've raised money from them.
Yeah.
But I think that we're very, very close with a lot of them, and still get advice and still get really good ideas from them, and sometimes still money. So I think it's we have a really good relationship with a lot of our investor base.
How old are you guys now?
We're both
18.
26.
I'm just kidding. 26.
26.
Yeah.
So fuck. Pretty good for your age. I mean, like do you ever feel like you want to take time off and have a bit of a break, or when you see something that's working as well as it is, you just want to work every day to make it bigger and better?
I think when there's a really clear shot at making it way bigger, it's impossible to not just work on it 24/7, which is I think very much the story of the past month. I think like it goes in waves, or maybe sometimes it's like actually we don't even know we need to figure out what the highest impact thing to build is. But that is not the case right now. We have very clear things to do, and I think because of that, we're doing hackathons on the weekend, and it's amazing, and it's so fun to do that type of stuff. So
What's a hackathon?
It's just programming, shipping features on the weekend. Like
You have like 24 hours.
24 hours a day.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what we do every day.
24 hours what? Where you just...
work. I mean, program or go and talk to customers and think of ideas, work on designs, anything that can move the ball forward. And I think like we use Whop internally, right? So we don't use Slack, we don't use Discord. We only talk all of our internal company on Whop. And that is really fun because we're all just using the product all day. And if we're all using the product all day, we can message customers right from the product. We can build the features that we're missing on the product. And it's all very obvious to everybody on where the gaps are. So I think that is really fun as well.
So tell me, both of you, what is a typical day looking like at the moment? You wake up when?
Right now, I'm usually waking up at like 8:45, 9 a.m. I try to run like 2-3 miles in the morning, get to the office by like 10. I've been staying at the office probably till like 11 recently, 11:30, and then go home, call Steven, honestly, what's been happening every single night, and then go to sleep at about like 12:31.
Okay.
That's crazy. Yeah, mine is a little less impressive without the run. I'll wake up at like 9:45, 9:50, walk to the office, 9:55 I get there, and then I'll have engineering stand up, and then I will work on the highest impact product feature of that day or week. So right now, we're working on a new user onboarding, and a lot of people don't really understand what Whop is, what Whop does, and how to use Whop. which we've never really focused on a good onboarding, and that's going to change quickly. So right now, I'm working with engineers, working with designers, working with product people, talking to customers, and writing code.
Mm-hmm. Is it the same office that you both go to?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just are on different sides of it, and we don't get to see each other during the day a lot.
This is in New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why did you choose New York?
I went to
Why not?
NYU.
Everyone's in Austin now. I feel like all
Austin?
the tech people.
Yeah, Austin's cool. They were actually in Austin, and I was in New York, and I convinced them to come to New York because I think that we were in Austin for a couple summers, and it's just a little bit more
too chill.
It's hot. Yeah. Why did we not?
I noticed that because
yeah.
I was in Austin last week,
Yeah.
and I liked it. It was very different, but I felt like it was missing something. It was a little bit too chill, as you said.
Yeah.
And I think if you are, I don't know I don't know if you need to physically be somewhere when the company is primarily online, but I feel like New York has a buzz and an energy about it.
Yeah. How do you feel in New York? Like, you've been here for a couple. How do you feel?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the type of person that I probably prefer more warmer weather and I like to be by the beach.
Yeah.
But I like being where the action is.
Yeah.
And there's certainly a lot on offer and there's a lot going on.
I think there's literally always something to do in New York. The airports are close. The food is great. And I think that's
and you can walking around everywhere. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, that's something which I miss in Dubai. I don't think you guys have been to Dubai, but it's very sort of segmented. There's little areas where you can walk around, but it's not like, I mean, if I wanted to, I could walk all the way through New York.
Yeah.
Not that I would do that, but it's like nice to have the option.
Yeah, you could do
that.
Yeah, sick.
So, I mean, what is the big vision?
Yeah, our big vision is to build the exact product that we would have loved to have growing up, and building all these different businesses. So if we look at Facebook and you look at, they put 3 billion people online, connected everybody, but they didn't let anybody pay each other. That's a problem. And our big vision is that people are in a couple of years going to wake up and open Whop and do their work and earn their livelihood on the platform. And we think that's a much more exciting version of what people are doing today for work. You're obviously doing something cool, and a lot of people have figured out a cool path, but the vast majority of people haven't quite figured that out. And I think there's a lot more opportunity than people think to do something really fun and also make money at the same time. So vision for Whop is that people will be the place for work, and people will use Whop to find customers, earn money. It's a big shopping mall, basically.
Yeah. Do you feel like Facebook or Meta tries to do that with the metaverse, but it kind of didn't really take off?
I think they're trying to do it for sure. I think that a lot of every big platform, I think, is realizing that the future of internet is largely driven by creators and people that are starting. They're driving all the traffic right to Instagram. You don't go on Instagram because it's fun to go on Instagram. You go on Instagram because you want to see what creators are posting, and that's the only thing on their entire app, right? Like if you open their app, the only thing you see is user-generated content. So because of that, they need to incentivize those people somehow, and they need to give them money, which is not many other incentives. And right now, they're running ads. They're not giving people money, so it's pretty backward. I think they do realize that, though, and I think that I think we have a lot of people that are not going to like what we're doing because we would be disrupting them. So yeah, I think they are going to try to do it, and they're trying to do it. I think that we're in a weird head start right now, but I think we have to move really fast.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like you said, everybody's on Instagram, but I'm at the point where I feel like there's so many things wrong with it. Like, I'm being shown things I don't want to see. I don't get to see the stuff from the people that I follow because I'm literally getting bombarded either with random creators, reels, or ads, like you said. And there seems to be more ads than ever. And those creators that are creating content aren't really being rewarded. It's certainly not on the same level that YouTube is rewarding creators. I think of all the platforms, YouTube is still my favorite. And I think it's done a great job of not only rewarding creators like myself, but also the algorithm is very good at suggesting videos that I would like to watch. Like every time I go onto the Explore page, I'm like, there's actually so many good videos that I don't have the time to watch.
Yeah.
Like it seems to know what I like to see, and the quality is very good.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. No, it makes sense. How does YouTube? How much? Like, if I can ask, like, how much do you make on YouTube?
So a lot of it is dependent upon obviously views, but then the type of content which you're creating. So you'll notice for example, let's say my friend Iman Gadzi. So he would make a lot of videos about business, entrepreneurship, and finance.
Mm-hmm.
The money he would make per view would be very high because of the type of people who are watching his content. Somebody like me who's making gym videos or vlogs, which aren't necessarily about money, finance, crypto, things like that, I get less money per view. So it's completely dependent upon the creator and the type of content which they're making. I think I've noticed overall the ad revenue is not as high as it used to be. I don't know if that's because there's either more creators or there's just advertisers are spending less money on that kind of comes and goes. But it's never really a huge amount. It could be like on the worst months, like $8,000 all the way up to like $20,000.
And you have how many subscribers?
1.6 million.
Yeah, so I think that like that's a problem, and I think that's
probably making way more money off of YouTube than
Well, yeah. The thing is with YouTube is you can build a lot of loyalty and trust.
Yeah.
Whereas the short form content, say for example on Instagram, if you're putting up pictures or reels, you can get attention,
right?
But you're getting someone's attention for a very short period of time. Then they're on to the next thing.
Right.
But if someone will commit to sit down and watch 5 to 10 minutes of you, they get to know what you're about. You build this trust, and then maybe they'll go watch another few videos. And when they've watched like 5 videos, like they kind of feel like they know you.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think that in some ways we're trying to make an even deeper form of engagement than just purely a video. And I think that's like our existential challenge is like, how can we give creators a even more engaging medium to form that relationship with the customers that will actually pay them.
Yeah.
And I mean, 1.7 million subscribers, like in Whop land, if we're not generating at least $1 per each of those subscribers each month, then we have failed at a certain point. So that's our vision.
Okay. So I need to get on Whop.
Yeah.